No, you're part by stand up. It's on the complete other.
Did you guys from school start a new semester or ending a semester? Almost. Okay. Usually we see a lot of you come at the very end or the very beginning. Okay. Scary.
And I was a good.
We're old crews go. Just hang out around Florida to go.
Do Dominican, Irvington, St. Martin, St. Thomas.
So what days were you there? Because I was in St. Martin first week of February. Because I went to Anguilla and you had to fly to St. Martin and you take a charter boat. So that's interesting.
So St. Martin would have been February 12th.
We got back in the 9th.
And the 13th was.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Getting big, man. Lifting? Oh yeah. Dang.
Well, cruise line. Carnival. We're going weekend.
Are you going out?
Out of Orleans.
Get your residency.
It's not Iowa.
I'll call the City Council meeting to order, March 3rd City Council meeting to order. Call of the roll.
Abby Hansen, John Hawkins.
Yeah.
Megan McFarland, Matt McKinney.
Here.
Logan Welch.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Call for motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
The petitions, communications and requests. This is the time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in case of emergency, the City Council will not take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. I see we've got quite a few political students here tonight. Does anyone want to get up and tell us your name in 5 minutes speech or anything? No? No one? No takers? Oh, okay. Sophie. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll move on. Item 2 is consent agenda. The following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions well approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, we'll consider it on its normal sequence on the agenda. I have item A, minutes of February 17 for the regular City Council meeting. Claims, B is claims, including payroll ending February 22nd and the fund list. And that's it.
Move to approve collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Aye. Item 3, general agenda. I have a presentation by Ashley Schwinski from HomeServe USA from the Service Line Program.
As
First here on screen.
Yeah.
She's on the phone right there.
Oh, she's on the phone. Okay.
Ashley, can you hear us?
I can hear you all. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm just going to make a few introductory comments and then I'll turn it over.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thanks, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to join your meeting this evening virtually. My name's Ashley Jaworski, and I do represent the National League of Cities Service Line Program. Our program here, it is the only one that's endorsed by the National League of Cities, but also in Iowa by the Iowa League of Cities as well. But the company I actually work for is called HomeServe, and we administer this program. And to give the group here a little background of how our program was developed is obviously we all know aging infrastructure is an issue for cities all across the U.S. And we know your city there is doing their best to either upgrade or maintain your public infrastructure, but the homeowners portion of these lines were kind of being forgotten about. Not on purpose, we just know there's only so much that the city can actually do on a private side or force a homeowner to do on their private side. So that's why the National League of Cities went out and did research. They wanted to make a program like ours readily and easily available to cities all across the country. So they went out, did the research on your behalf, and we were the company that they did choose to provide the program. So what we do is we would partner with the city to make our completely optional program available to your residents there. And we provide homeowners with protection on their external water or well lines, sewer or septic lines, and their in-home plumbing. And we always provide these services with a complete turnkey approach for your city, where we handle all the aspects of the program. So we do the marketing, the billing, the claims management, and customer service. And there is no cost to your city if you choose to participate in our program, and your city would receive an incremental revenue stream for their participation. What I always think, though, is the best benefit of our program is that it really does help to raise awareness. Pretty much every city that I work with across the country, I hear that same type of thing, that if a resident does have an issue with one of their external lines, a lot of times their first call is to someone there. And I'm sure, and I know the staff has gotten calls like this in the past, and then they're left either, using your time and dollars to send someone else to investigate, or being the bearer of bad news to a homeowner at the worst time possible, explaining that these lines are not covered by the city or typically their homeowner's insurance. So that's why I think of this program as a public awareness campaign, because we would send a letter out to your residents letting them know this program is available. And the beginning of that letter is educational. So that way, even if a resident does not enroll in the future, they're well aware of exactly which portion of these lines that they're responsible for. And just that the city did try to take that proactive approach and helping to educate them of that. Also, if we did partner with the city, we actually would develop a local contractor or plumber network to serve your residents' claims, because we want to keep as much money there within your local economy as possible. But with those local plumbers, the city could be involved in that selection or stay out of it. Either way works for us. But with all of our plumbers, we go through a vetting process to verify they are from your community, that they meet licensing requirements, that they have proper insurance, and we also conduct background checks and drug screenings. That way, one of your residents always feel comfortable with them coming to their home and inside of their home. And as for the important thing, what our program covers, we do offer 3 options for a homeowner. They're all separate, all optional. So a homeowner can choose to enroll in them or any combination or absolutely none, whatever works for them. But we offer an external water line protection, external sewer line protection, and an in-home plumbing. I will kind of talk about the first external ones together because they're almost identical, where we begin to cover those lines wherever they become the resident's responsibility. So all the way out at the city main to where those lines would enter their home. So that way, if a resident is having an issue, whether it's a broken, a cracked, a leaking pipe, a tree root issue, an inoperable shutoff, really anything that's causing an issue with that line, that homeowner makes a call to us. We'll send out that local plumber. The plumber goes to your homeowner's house to see what's causing the issue, and they repair or replace the line as needed. With our protection, your residents receive up to $8,500 for each and every incident. That's always on an incident basis. So they get that each and every incident. That includes street repair, sidewalk repair, any permitting costs, and we do not have a call-out fee or deductible that would stop a homeowner from giving us a call and getting their issues taken care of. And then in addition to that, we also do offer an in-home plumbing. And that really would cover any of the water, sewer, or drain lines in your resident's home after the point of entry that could be broken or leaking. It also includes lines in their slab or basement floor and the repair of clogged toilets. And that's very similar to the two external options with no service fee or deductible, no annual or lifetime limit, no limit on number of claims. And with our in-home, your resident does receive up to $3,000 towards each and every incident. And we do come to find that if the homeowner enrolls in any of these options, they are just a little bit more proactive about getting their issues taken care of, because we know a lot of times the resident is nervous to call a plumber because they don't know how much it's going to cost them or can't find someone to come to their house in a timely fashion. But now they know the cost of determining their issue and getting it taken care of is not coming out of their pocket. And then lastly, I know the big thing the city probably wants to know is what's your involvement in the program? So we really do handle all the aspects of the program. We do the marketing, the billing, the claims, and the customer service. We actually enter into a marketing agreement with the city, which I did see was attached to the agenda there, but it just lays out the way that we get the word out about the program, which is through direct mail. So that is the city's involvement. And before we send anything out to your residents there, we would work with the group to customize that specifically for Webster City. We work with you on any edits and changes that you want to see in that. And once we get the approval, we let you know the dates that we would mail those out. And to give you all a kind of an idea of what that looks like, the beginning is that educational piece. It typically has a diagram, so the residents know which portion of the line we're talking about. But it is an introductory letter where the city helps to introduce the program to its homeowners. But it always states that we are the company providing it, and it is 100% optional. It does include the city either logo or letterhead, so your residents know that this is a program that you all are making available to them. But on that is all of our information, our logo, our phone number to call with questions or to enroll. Same thing with our website. They can get a lot of great information that way, or they return the letter in the mail to us. We know you have more than enough going on, so we do handle all the aspects of the program, the marketing, the billing, claims, and customer service. And for the city's partnership, you actually do receive a revenue for your participation. So again, absolutely no cost to the city, but the city does receive 10% of all of the premiums we collect on an annual basis back in the form of a revenue. And a lot of our partners do different things with this. Obviously, a city could do anything that they like, and some put it into the general fund. But we also have partners that will use it to help residents that may be having trouble paying a utility bill from month to month. We know you try to help already when you can, or go to different public infrastructure upgrades, but really however the city sees fit. And I know I did mention we do have over 1,300 municipal partners all across the U.S. We do have over 130 in the state of Iowa. I know we are lucky to be partnered and endorsed by the Iowa League of Cities and partnered with the Iowa Rural Water Association and have saved residents there in the state over $45 million in repair costs. And I know I've rambled on to you all this evening, so I'm sure you also may have some questions for me as well.
So this is just an option we wanted to bring to the council for consideration. If you feel that it's a benefit that you'd like to, offer to homeowners, we can work out the details with the company and bring that back. If not, we just wanted to present you with the opportunity to see if this was something you were interested in. We do know that some homeowners have encountered difficulties when they go to replace their service lines, whether that's during a reconstruct or whether it's just due to aging infrastructure. Again, not funded by the city. It's a product that customers or residents can take advantage of if they so choose. We were approached by the company and presented the opportunity here.
Yeah, I don't see any issues here. I mean, I know there's a lot of anxiety, especially with exterior lines in older parts of the community. So this may proactively get some of it taken care of faster than before. So
A lot of cities already participating. Yeah, I have no problem. I think it's a good idea. Give people an option to have insurance.
Yeah, I agree. It just gives them another option. So.
So with that, Dodie and I will follow up after this and bring you back the necessary documents that would be required to move forward.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you. Item B is a resolution providing for a notice of hearing on proposed plan specification.
Thank you.
Plan specifications, proposed form of contract, estimate of costs for the construction of the Beach Street PCC rehabilitation project for April 7th at 6:05 PM.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So yeah, this is the proposed plans and specifications form of contract for the Beach PCC project. This project is located on Beach Street, from 2nd Street to Iowa Central. To kind of summarizes the work of this project, it will include full depth patching over 5,000 square yards, crack sealing, sidewalk replacement, pavement markings, storm sewer intake repair, manhole adjustments, and ADA works. The project, this project is STVG swap project. So that means the 80 each, we will receive 900,006, almost $1 million, sorry, almost $1 million worth of funding. We will match 250,000 by the city. So with this being a DOT project, we'll have to follow their bid procedures and everything that's required through them. So pretty much just a concrete panel replacement project on the Beach Street corridor.
With sidewall on it. Yeah.
With sidewalk.
Okay. Call for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Item C is a resolution authorising the city manager to sign and execute amendment number 36 with Snyder and Associates to provide professional services needed for the summer 2025 HMA street improvement project.
Yes, so amendment number 36 with Snyder Associates. This will be very similar to last year's HMA project. Back in 2021, with our pavement management report, it did recommend, and we spend, recommended roughly $1 million set aside for projects such as this. We had really good success on the last couple of years with our HMA mill and fill projects. We would like to move forward that this year and working with Snyder Associates. We've taken a look at our streets and looked at the PCI ratings, and anything very poor to poor and some fair. We've looked at taking that into consideration, and also, where it's located. So what we have is we have 6 locations that would be part of the bid, with 3 being bid alternatives. It's kind of around the high school area. Bank Street is a very highly traveled area to the high school. Or not Bay Street, sorry, Elm Street, leading to the high school. And then with Woolsey and Matson on there, Walnut, Kathy Lane, in front of the church there, that's pretty tough shape. And then also there on Clark Mullenhoff, out there by Tasler Pallet. And then the bid alternatives would be Mary Lane, Easy Street, and Webster Street. So.
Okay. Call for motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Item D is a resolution authorising the city manager to sign and execute amendment number 37 with Snyder and Associates to provide professional services needed for routine bridge inspections and associated reports.
All right, so this is kind of a routine matter here. So amendment 37, working with Snyder Associates as well. We're in the odd year, so it will be looking at 7 bridges. After the bridges are inspected, they'll complete an engineer's report. They were give their findings to the city and what needs to be addressed, and we then add that to our 5-year CIP. At that time, also the DOT has to be notified of this by November. So this is kind of a standard thing that we do. We just John actually just discussed this morning with our bridge and what all needs to be addressed with those moving forward.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Item E is a resolution. Thanks, Brandon. Item E is a resolution authorising the city manager to execute the needed repairs of well number 6 as defined in Exhibit A for the wastewater treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So back in December, we had 2 quotes from Peerless Pump and one from Cohoy, or Northway, sorry, for $23,670, and the other one was $28,000. That was just the initial pull the well, inspect it, because they don't know anything until they get in there and actually start working on stuff. Peerless Pump came back with an updated quote of $84,725 due to a high volume of that was replacing 350 foot of pipe, 10-inch column pipe, some of the shaft realignment, working on the motor itself. So just seeking authorization for the city manager to approve the well.
Needs to be done.
Yep.
Fund for this will come out of the water operating budget. It's part of the annual amount that's set aside during their operating budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
Item F is a resolution authorising the city manager to sign and execute a purchase agreement with Sundancer Investments for the purchase of property located at 208 Division Street in Webster City in the amount of $5,000.
Good evening, Mayor and council members.
Right.
I'm here tonight, excuse me, to request that the council adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute, sign and execute a purchase agreement for an abandoned property at 208 Division Street for the amount of $5,000. This property has been a concern for many years. Utilities have been disconnected since 2011, and there have been nuisance violations since 2013. It was identified in 2021 as a possibly abandoned property, and with our recent proactive efforts in identifying nuisance and abandoned properties, it has been confirmed that this property is abandoned. The trustee did come forward and contacted the city attorney and myself, offering to sell the property for $10,000. The city countered that for $5,000 due to the condition of the property. This approach allows us to take more of a direct approach and avoid the legal proceedings and the time and the cost that would take. So if the agreement is approved, we would then come back to council with an abatement plan rather quickly for the most viable and cost-effective abatement of the property. So again, I'm just requesting that you approve and adopt a resolution to have the city manager execute that purchase agreement.
Very good. I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Item G is a motion setting a hearing, public hearing for the property tax levy for April 7th at 5:45 PM.
Well, this is an annual exercise that we go through and are required to by the state of Iowa, but this does do a nice sort of jumping off point into the budget season. Dodie and I have been working on the budgets and have developed this as a beginning step for the conversation before we enter the work sessions later this month. As you can see, the specific request for the council is simply to set a public hearing on the maximum levy for April 7th at 5:45 in accordance with state statutes. Down the line on this memo, you can see where those numbers are moving. You'll remember that last year we were able to deliver approximately $120,000 reduction in the levy to the residents. That was accomplished by and large by eating into some fund balance in the employee benefits fund. When we look at the funds, we look at 5-year forecasts. And so these recommendations are made with what we believe are able to be balanced out into the 5 years. As you can see this year, there is a sizable decrease in the property liability levy because there was some fund balance there that is assisting us in decreasing the recommended levy increase to the extent possible. Our general fund is recommended to increase by approximately $80,000, really with the legislative caps on the general fund and our needs to continue to provide service that are growing, through inflationary costs or personnel costs or things like that. We are recommending that be moved up to what would be the statutory cap to ensure that we're positioned in the out years. But those are largely inflationary costs that are driving that. In addition, the debt service fund is increasing by, we're recommending that it increases by approximately $60,000. That is related to the debt involved in paying last year's bond issue, what we would call Fairmeadow 1 and the HVAC system for this building. So that's just, meeting the funding requirements for that. And then there is an increase in the employee benefits fund, not really being driven by jumps to the benefits, but driven by balancing that fund out for the 5 years. So when we get to the end, we have an approximate 2% increase of $120,000 that we'd like to come into the budget sessions and discuss with you. There are options available to the council should you wish to reduce that. Those would be increasing the transfers from either the road use tax fund, or the sales tax fund, which has sometimes been referred here as the CIP fund, in the amounts of roughly $50,000 to $60,000 by 0%. That right now is a 1 year calculation. So how it affects the out years, I can't tell you, but there are options for you moving into those work sessions that we can discuss. It just would take funding from a different pot and apply it to the debt service for that year. So we did attempt to budget very conservatively, as both Dodie and I have a nature to do. And so this is, again, a starting point. And Dodie can talk through the rest of the memo, because I know there's some other calculations you made on the impacts and the state budget forms and all of that.
Well, I just statement.
Yeah.
That's in residents. That at the bottom of it, it is showing a percent change for residential to be 8.34. I just want to note that one of the assumptions of that is that the property value increased by 10%. So I actually called the county to confirm that we haven't seen this 10% increase between 2023 and 2024. They confirmed it. Sherry randomly looked up 60 properties. She couldn't find a single one where the values had increased those 2 years. So we did see an overall increase, but it would be due to new builds and maybe improvements, which of course you would know that you would have an increase on that. So I do think it's
unfortunate, but it's simply a result of Dodie enters the numbers and that's what it spits out on the state side. What we did do on the notice, if you can scroll towards the bottom of it, Zach, if you keep going, we did put a note in at the bottom of this page.
The one at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Does he need to keep going?
Last year.
That's last year's. Keep going, yeah.
This one.
So we just put reasons for the tax increase and proposed to increase the current. So that is a message with the actual numbers from this memo that explains it. We can't explain that form, but we can explain what we're asking for in terms of dollars to you all. I would note, on this document I have with the 24, 25 and 2026 is the first chart, Zach, way at the top. There was actually a decrease in the proposed levy rate. And so it's moving from 1810 to 1742, at least as best we can estimate right now. Is that, Dodie, do you have anything else but on that? But is that accurate in your assumptions? Yeah. So,
It's just the rollback, increased it a little bit, so that also generated a few more dollars.
we're happy to answer any additional questions. Dodie did do a nice form on the back. I think the last sheet on this, which are your estimates for tax impacts, and it looks to me like all property classes were down, at least from a residential perspective. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
without a percent increase, which again, it did not appear at the average.
Without the assessed increase. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So with that, we request you set the public hearing. Alternatively, if you do want to adjust that prior to the work sessions, you're certainly free to do so. I would advise to wait till we get into those sessions to do that, but.
Question, John, you mentioned that Fair Meadow 1 is included in this. Is Fair Meadow 2 as well?
Not in this.
Okay, because I believe the memorandum said it was Fair Meadow 1 and 2.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. You may have caught me.
But I did not see any mention of the HVAC in my reading of it.
Yeah, it says and Fair Meadow 2.
Well, that's because it is. And that's because the first interest payment, which would be the first, it's a partial payment on the debt because we issued it last year. So yes, that is part of it. Thank you.
And is the HVAC also included?
And the HVAC is
Thank
part of
you.
this as well.
Thank you.
I move to approve to go forward with the hearing date.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any other items come to council? Zach, you have your report?
Yeah, just quick, prepared the K9, as you know, Moab moved on to the county, so we entered into agreement or prepared agreement with the county for the reimbursement on them receiving Moab. And then 208 Division, which you guys approved tonight, we've been working on that one for a little while, and then the removal contract, which is going to an outside vendor, which should be coming to you guys shortly, so.
Okay. That's about it. We'll call for a motion to review.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You guys need anything signed or a picture taken or something for your class? Something like that. Otherwise, we're adjourned, everybody.